Congressman, welcome back to the program. It is an honor to have you.
Thank you, Benny. Looking forward to chatting with you, my friend. Absolutely.
Okay, so I'm like, you don't have to frame it or classify it the way that I do, but I'm sickened by what happened to your district in this total rig job in the Utah Supreme Court. Can we zoom out a bit, and can you perhaps like lay down the architecture of what happened and how Democrats were able to cheat a seat and then effectively try and kick you out of Congress? I thought they were for black representation, Burgess.
Well, I'll do that, but let me just start off by saying we are so blessed, Benny, that we are part of this generation that as our country is about to go over the edge, we have been chosen to be part of this fighting back. So I appreciate what you're doing. Everyone now is involved at this point in time. We're getting our country back. We're getting back to good old-fashioned faith, family, free market education, and we now know what the left truly looks like. We know Marxists hate everything we stand for, and we see how devious and how crafty they are. So we get it. We're going to be educated now and moving forward. So congratulations. Our country is a great place. Now, in terms of Utah, Utah is a beautiful, beautiful state. When you talk about those tenets, faith, family, free market education, the reason why we're growing as fast as we are, the reason why we keep our kids close, why they're educated, we get it. We understand it. And sometimes we get in this little freedom bubble, all of us. We do our things like we have our occupations we're going for. We have our time with our kids and memories. We sometimes get in our little freedom bubble and forget on the outside of that bubble is true evil. It's called Marxism, something that hates everything we stand for. We sometimes don't get it until COVID shows up. And then all of a sudden we start saying, wait a minute, let's kind of pump the brakes here. Maybe I need to get more involved. And now we have this going on across our country where we see it's all about the Democratic Party. As we as passionate about patriotism, they are as passionate about power. Anything. They don't matter how it comes, how they get it, how much pain you have to make happen to get that done, how many lives are being lost. So we see that now and understand finally that there's something called evil. So with Utah, you look at the map and you'll see this little tiny, weeny little bit of a blue dot. That's the district that has now been carved out for the Democratic Party. And it's over time. I think we have to understand that we have a judiciary process that sometimes, first of all, they're not held accountable. They're very much into an elitist process because they're not put in front of the people like the legislative body or the executive body. In this case here in Utah, we have judges, Supreme Court judges, after they get through the first 3 years, they're in for 10 years. And then then they get on a ballot, and the ballot has nothing to say at all about their background, how they've been judging people, and in the process they just continue to move on. So we're now beginning to first of all push back on the fact that we cannot have judges that are anonymous, that are leftists, that are doing everything they can to not stay true to our Constitution. And we're gonna make some changes as we come into let's come in November. We have a retention vote. We're going to get rid of one of these Supreme Court judges. The other one just resigned, and a district judge, I call her run out the clock Gibson, that played games the entire last 2 years to make sure that our legislative body did not have a chance to step in and do their job. So we're learning from this. It's going to all turn out just fine. We have to go through these tough times to realize that we got to wake up, we got to hustle, and we got to fight for our Constitution and our great culture.
I love your positivity. Can I hire you as a motivational speaker to just come into the studio every morning and get me ready to go with my coffee? Okay, so we're gonna put the map up here, and I want to we've been really nerding out on these maps, and I want you to potentially, if you wouldn't mind, just explaining to our audience what happened here, because again, Utah is a supermajority Republican state. Klein, please pop up the map, and I want to this. So this is the Salt Lake area, and they carved up. This was an advocacy group map that was designed in order to put a single Democrat seat inside of this supermajority state that President Trump won by double digits.
Are you gonna put it up?
Whoops. Yep. Well, I apologize here. There we go. Sorry about that. We had a slight technical difficulty here. Thank you. There it is.
Well,
moving quickly here. Thank you.
Let me start off by saying we are a republic. We believe in the idea that ignorant and free can never be. So we educate the populace so they can know and have the right representation showing up and voting for them. So in the past, for all these years, we've had 4 districts, and those districts represent urban, suburban, and rural. So everybody, all 4 of us come ready to understand the entire state. So we represent the entire people population, and know that we have to be accountable to every sector of that. So what these guys did is they decided they decided to put together initiative. And you hear the term, we're going to be a democracy. No, we never have and never will be a democracy. We have always been a republic. We were there on purpose. Now, if you want to go to democracy, look at the French Revolution, and you see the guillotine, because that's what happens when people are ignorant of the issues. They can become fearful or emotional, and that's what the Democrats want. So they have right now that little teeny weeny blue spot is Marxist leftist now. There's actually somebody that might win that is a true Marxist. It's a Bernie Sanders Marxist, and that is in the heart of Utah. Now, what happens with this is that the rest of Utah is not represented correctly. All the other, we're going to have, first of all, one of our votes will be negated every single time, and we don't have the entire state being represented the way it has been in the past. So we now understand it. I think the biggest lesson of this is that we realize now we have a judiciary, that people, if they're anonymous, if they're not held accountable, if we don't know what they're doing, there is a tendency of being very entitled and just very cocky. And our judiciary in Utah we cannot allow that to happen from this point moving forward. So I'm actually, I'll say this, it's been a tough thing for Utah, and I think we're going to end up, because of what's going across the country, not be counted against our country the way it would have been. But in the day, Utah is learning from this, and we're going to make sure we get the right type of judges. I hope our legislative body will also find a way to have everything transparent, so we know who they are, and we can get them out. We have our retention vote in November. The idea, and all Utahns vote no for Pullman and vote no for run out the clock Gibson. If we can do that, then moving forward, every judiciary from this point will realize that our eyes are on them. They'll be held accountable, and we'll make sure we uphold the Constitution of not only our country, but of our great state. So you say that these Supreme Court justices that passed this rigged map drawn by left-wing advocacy group, that Utah will have an ability to effectively right that court and choose to not retain these other judges. Is that what they're going to do? Is that what the state is going to do? Yeah, they're going to flip the terms of power with the court? Yes. Well, right now, the map is what it is. So we're going to have to deal with that. We're going to have a Democrat and 3 Republicans instead of 4 Republicans. But moving forward, as we now know that we have a chance to put our voices forward in November. In the past, Benny, this has not been an issue. The maps, the ballots show up, we see the names, we don't know nothing about them. Either we keep it blank or just ignore it, not realizing that this is how these people stay in power. With the Supreme Court, it works this way. Pullman was brought in 3 years ago. If she passes this time, it'll be another 10 years before she'll be held accountable again. And so that's the way these guys work. They put on the black robes, they become legislators and think that nobody's going to touch them because we don't know who they are and what they're doing. This will change with, first of all, our governor putting in good, solid, conservative, America first, Utah first Supreme Court judges, and our Utah constituency understand who they are and hold them accountable every 3 to 10 years.
So they're not going to be able to fix this map before the 2026 election. Is that correct?
Yep, you're nailing. Unfortunately, it is what it is. We have gone from 4 solid, good conservative districts to 3 and 1 Marxist district. And can I say this, Benny? As tough as that is, and particularly when you see what Utah has always stood for, we have that little spot which says they're trying to turn us into California. But then now that we know it, the upside is now we know we can do something about it. So I'm excited about that part. And because what's going on across the country, Utah will not have the impact that these people wanted them to have. But they wanted our one seat to be part of this changeover, this change of power. It's not going to happen because of everything that's going on right now across our country. And this remarkable Supreme Court ruling just recently that we cannot segregate people Get that? We cannot segregate people based on color. Those days are done, Democrats. So we're back to moving forward big time.
I want to get to that. I want to zoom out and get to that decision in just one moment, because you, Congressman, stand, of course, as a perfect example of the kind of representative, you stand as like the silver bullet to all of the talking points here, because they do want to take your seat away. They do want to rip power away from you, not because of your skin color. It has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with your morality and how you vote and your worldview. But very quickly here, I can't get my mind off the story of this Supreme Court justice who had this relationship with the attorney that was arguing to get rid of your seat, to deprive you of a seat and to kick you out of Congress. And the Supreme Court justice effectively was sleeping with the attorney that was doing this, the left-wing attorney that was representing these advocacy groups. And she's now resigned. And I do wonder, what do you think of that? Do you believe that might potentially be cause for such lack of jurisprudence and such open criminality on the court? Because of course you can't do that. There are rules, there are laws against these kind of things for good reason, that you could get this judgment thrown out. What's your take, Congressman?
I don't think that's going to happen. At the end of the day, she resigned. So that chapter is closed at this point. We're now in the middle of our primary. It is what it is. And the point I'm making, sometimes we have to go through these real tough times. We all know what that looks like. It's times of reflection. It's time for us to sit back and say, okay, what can I do to make sure this never happens again? So for Utah, we needed this. Utah needed it in this one way. We are a remarkable state that just takes so many good things for granted because we surround ourselves with other people like ourselves, faith, family, free market education. We want our kids close. We want to take chances and go out and build businesses. We want to draw other people of all backgrounds into our state and have these conversations. So that's the culture of Utah. And we didn't know that we're under attack until this happened. So we're going to have to go through this next 2 years dealing with a Democrat district. I'm thinking and I'm hoping actually the very worst is they get a Marxist, because Utah needs to see what almost happened to us. We'll get through this. We'll get this thing turned back around. We'll give the power back to the legislative body, which is our Constitution says that our legislation body is what draws the map, not a judge. A judge can't go and pick out this group and says, I'm going to go with your map versus and negate everything else that the legislators are doing. So we're learning a great lesson, and we're going to be much stronger in another 2 years once this is all turned back around. In the meanwhile, it is what it is. It seems like you are strongly campaigning against these justices. You're going to flip the Supreme Court, and then can I count on you running again, Congressman? No, I'll say this. This has been the greatest 6 years in terms of impact, in terms of being able to understand the greatness of Utah. Benny, we were able to pull aside. We did something that's going to be so impactful for our kids. And I'm just so glad to be here with President Trump. We have choice, school choice across New York State just signed into the federal choice process. We're going to have our kids so smart. We have the Trump account where kids are going to, by age 18, going to have income. They're going to have property. They're going to understand financial literacy. So I'm just so thankful that the last couple of years I've been part of this remarkable shift toward getting our country back as our kids are getting more patriotic. So I think that my time has been a great time. I'm glad I'm here. I'm an entrepreneur at heart, so I'm looking forward to seeing how I can continue to have our educational process moving and improving, getting our kids to be the smartest, the most hopeful, patriotic in the history of mankind. There's never been a better time to do that than with the Trump effect right now. So I'm excited about being part of that and look back on it in a very positive way. I'm extremely excited for the future, endorsing you for governor of Utah. I can't wait. It's going to be an awesome run. I'll be your first donor, and we're very excited about it. So the Voter Rights Act, this Supreme Court, I would love to just get your opinion on this. Obviously, Democrats are screaming. They're staging insurrections in Tennessee. Barack Obama is out banging the drum. Republicans are getting rid of historically black districts. I mean, I don't even know what is that. Like, how do you even argue that in a colorblind society or in a constitutional society where all men are created equal? Your take on this, Congressman? You can't argue it. The key to is from the very beginning, we've had certain things, one of which is becoming for a more perfect union. in a more perfect union. I grew up in the Deep South. I was 16 years old before I had contact with white Americans, but I had a remarkable, exciting, patriotic, business-run community that believed in our country, and we believed in education. And we were excited about the fact that we finally get to a point where we can see each other inside out, not outside in. Who does it the opposite? It's Marxists. Marxists want to divide us in any way they can. Marxists want blacks to feel that they are not worthy or their background makes them unequal. And that is not the truth. So at the end of the day, we're at a point, I'm so glad it's been way too long that Democrats have gotten away with this, whether it be dividing people up, putting segregated groups of blacks and then make them so miserable, so uneducated that they can control that process. In Tennessee, think about this. Tennessee has a district, last 19 years, a white liberal has been running this all black district. That's how crazy this is. But we're at a point now we're getting back.
He's a white liberal bald midget, actually. But yes, who eats KFC on the House floor disgustingly with his greasy fingers. I don't know why. Well, Steve Cohen, he's a real character. But he ain't black representation, no, I gotta tell you.
Can I say this? What I love about where we are, Benny, and this has been a 40, 50-year dream, Black America's waking up. We're starting to see that we need the opportunities everybody else has. We don't want to be put down, made victims, all that crazy stuff. And it's exciting to see, because once we leave, like I did 40 years ago, we'll never go back. We then lean in hard to our faith and our families, education, the things that the Republican Party has always said, this is for you. You can do anything you want to dream big enough and overcome the obstacles and never feel as a victim. So that's where we are, and it's driving the left nuts because they came so close. They're on the 5-yard line, bringing all these folks in that could care less or know about our country because they're going to get their votes too, or get the number more representatives because of illegals in the area. All that's coming to an end, and so they are going nuts to come so close. And then here comes Trump, and all of a sudden, American people. so we're in a good place. I tell you, I'm excited about that for sure.
Quickly, Congressman, your message to Barack Obama, because he's doing now a tour saying that Republicans are racistly deleting black voices and votes.
My advice is sit this one out, Barack. Sit this one out. The worst president that we're going to look back in history and say ever in the history of our country. We had an opportunity to bring us together. This is the time that America said, we want a voice to show that we're not what we were in the past. And he comes in, he changed our education system, brings his Marxist ideology. He divides us like no other time in history. We're now back in a sense of people feeling so divided that we're back in the 60s. And we were so far past that. So sit this one out. We have President Trump now. We're going to leave our country in a much better place for our kids, cleaner, safer, more prosperous, and more excited about being American. So thankfully, we've turned that chapter, and Barack is going to be seen for who he is and what he did.
Are you excited about your colleague AOC now leading the polls for president in 2028?
I'm very excited about that, yes, for the Democrats. Right on. Keep it going. No, I here's the deal. First of all, let me just say this. The reason why I'm as positive as I am is because Heavenly Father is a perfect plan for us. We're together right now having this conversation, and everybody's listening because we are here this generation to bring our country back. And the Republican Party is the party, has always been. So let the Democrats keep leaning as hard left as they can possibly. Be Marxists, bring up the communists and socialists, go for it. And American people will see it for what it is. And as we educate our kids, they will never have a chance to come close to the power they now have. So just bring it on, AOC. That's I love your thoughts as a Democrat for sure.
You should go for it. You should go for it. Seriously, girl, you go, girl. It's yours. You know, the bartender to president pipeline is strong. It's either AOC or.
Can I say this? It's one thing about leftists. When you don't have God, you really do take yourself too seriously. You're not reading the room. You're not reading what's going on with other people because you don't care about other people. And that's the problem with the godless Marxists and communists. It's all about them. It's all about power. It's what can I do to make sure everybody sees I am the greatest thing in sliced bread. Americans are the same, different way. We're givers. We're servers. We empathize. We want people to come along and be with us. We want our kids to have a great legacy. We want our country to be much, much better and freer. That's who we are. So at our very core, and because of our Constitution, we will stay at very core that we're going to continue to move forward. And that's why miracles like we have right now, we came so close, all of a sudden we're going in a different direction. We should not be surprised. It's just kind of our DNA. We get to a point where we say, okay, enough of this. We're moving forward now. We're going to get back to the real world and getting our kids in a good place.
Yes. Kamala Harris, man. It's either AOC or Kamala Harris. It's going to be very exciting. 2028.
It's Kamala. Yes,
well,
I think.
Which would you prefer? Which would you prefer? You endorse Kamala Harris right now? You'd like?
Well, either one would be fun, but Kamala is precious. She's special. So I think Kamala should really find a way to get there, win a primary to get there, and let's have this debate for sure.
We look forward, Burgess Owens, to having you on the program and as much as possible. And we just love your positive attitude. Obviously, the outlook is what we need right now. There's far too many people in, I don't know, for some reason. I think it's an op. I think it's spiritual too. And it's something that is that they're trying to like break apart our movement. We need more positivity, more upbeat energy, and you are the man for it. God bless you, Burgess Owens. Everybody follow.
Let me say, Benny,
yes,
it's been
please.
Great listening to you, but it's a real pleasure talking with my friend. It really is. It's been fun.
Please,
Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Come back anytime, and I will personally convince you to run for either Senate or governor on this program live in front of all these beautiful people.
Thanks, Benny.
Godspeed, Burgess. All right.
Okay.